Welcome to another intriguing episode of The Trading Bell. This week on the show, we shall be hosting Mr. Richard Ngatia, the President of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We shall be delving into matters trade agreements. How has Kenya coped under the COVID-19 period, and what lies ahead for the economy come 2021? Let's take a look at his profile. Mr. Ngatia serves as the President of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. He is also the Chairman of the International Conference on the Great Lakes Region, Private Sector Forum, and a Deputy Patron of the Kenya National Federation of Juakali Associations. Ngatia has also served as a board member of the East Africa Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture. He also sits as a trustee for the Pubs, Entertainment and Restaurants Association of Kenya. He's also served as the Managing Director of Megascope Healthcare Limited. Great to have you once again on the program, Mr. Ngatia.
Thank you very much, Agina, for having me here.
All right.
It's been a long time since the last time I think I was here.
Thank you for honoring. Yeah. Thank you for honoring our invite. And let's get straight into it, Mr. Ngatia. 2020 is a year that will go down history as being one of the most turbulent times, not only for Kenya, but Africa and the world at large, all because of the global pandemic, the coronavirus. Many households have been affected. Over 1.7 million Kenyans lost their jobs during this period. And it seems like there's some glimmer of hope at the end of the tunnel. For members under the chamber, how did this impact on them? And generally, is the economy getting back on its feet?
All right, thank you for that question. And I want to agree with you that we faced unprecedented times during this pandemic of COVID-19. And we saw a disruption of businesses. We saw employees losing their jobs, businesses closing and shutting down. And there was a lot of disruption across the globe, and not only Kenya. But we are hopeful. And we have come with stringent measures to see how we can be able to support these sectors post-COVID, and particularly in 2021.
All right. And speaking about mitigation measures, the government did announce several bailout packages just to cushion businesses during these hard times. And how effective were these mitigation measures from your own assessment? And how is the chamber trying to be a link between what government is doing and what is happening at the grassroots level?
Yes, the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry is working very closely with the national government, is working very closely with the county governments, particularly to see how the SMEs can be supported, and looking at the stimulus package that has been announced just the other day. In fact, we saw about 7 banks already signing to make sure that they mitigate this problem of making sure that there's affordable credit and there's financial inclusion to SMEs. And yes, we as a chamber have been working very closely to sensitize members, to sensitize SMEs on how they can reach out. And we are happy that the government has taken measures to make sure that there are moratoriums. The banks will give moratoriums in terms of making sure the structure loans for these SMEs. Some are structuring to even up to 3 years. And that is really helpful to SMEs today.
All right. And you raise a very important point, Mr. Ngatia, that the measures have been forthcoming, helping businesses. But how sustainable are they? Because, for instance, we are seeing the National Treasury is already saying taxes get back to normal in January because the government needs revenue. Of course, the bailout packages are slowly coming to an end. Even the bank moratoriums are lapsing come January. How do we create an environment that is sustainable post-COVID?
If you look at this guarantee scheme, it also guarantees the financial institutions so that they see the people they're lending to, there's no risk into that. And I think as much as we try to make sure that these sectors have actually been supported in making sure they have finances, they have credit, they have capital, we are also doing, we do capacity building for them, then we'll be able to sustain it.
All right.
And over and above that, we as the chamber are looking for opportunities available not only in this country but across the world, and particularly within the African continent.
All right. And you've literally led me to my next question, touching on Africa as a continent. We are slowly trying to expand our territories. For instance, Kenya is looking to boost its trade ties across the region. We do know that you sit in a very vital position as the Great Lakes. Perhaps talk to us about how, as a chamber, and with government support and government linkages, how are we aligning ourselves to make Kenya an investment destination for investors? How are we marketing the country to say we are investor ready when COVID subsides?
I think one of the most important things is to know that, yes, and you mentioned the Great Lakes region, private sector forum, that forms about 12 countries. We do have EAC, we do have within the region, we do have ECOWAS, we do have SADC. I think we are now preparing our SMEs or the private sector, to be prepared for the opening of the African Continental Free Trade Area. And these are opportunities that will be available not only in certain regions, but across the continent. And we are happy that about 22 countries were meant to have signed the treaties, but we have seen over 40 countries now signing. And therefore, coming January, the borders will open. This means that you can trade with Angola, you can trade with Zambia, with South Africa, with any country within the African continent freely, because the borders will open. For us to prepare ourselves, we need to make sure that there are no, we look at the tariff barriers.
Yes.
We make sure that the policies are favorable. We want to make sure, like the other day, again, I was in Western countries.
Yeah.
And I see they have formed national councils, and they have really prepared themselves. And I think for us here in Kenya, we need to hold hands with the national government, with the county government, and form national council. And have dialogue between ourselves and prepare ourselves for these opportunities that will come up and open within the African continent. So I agree, the FCTA really is something that we need to look at and prepare ourselves to take opportunities available.
Amazing. I like your line of thinking, Mr. Ngatia, trying to empower businesses to be ready when the agreement comes into force. But both you and I do know that the level of knowledge, the level of awareness among businesses is wanting. For that small business in Karatina, that small business in Nyalenda, that small business in Rumuruti, they're trying to see how do we engage with the chamber to be the link between us and this FCTA. Some look at it as a foreign, some wonder, what is this thing? Perhaps as a chamber, what are the opportunities to build capacity and at the same time create meaningful linkages so that someone sits and says, I was able to export macadamia to the UK thanks to the chamber?
I think one of the things as the chamber, which is our mandate really, is to advocate for this sector, for SMEs, MSMEs. And one of the things that we've been doing is to look at value chain. For example, we have worked very closely with development partners. We have worked very closely with AGRA. We have worked with the European Union on that front to make sure that we do capacity build the Wanjiko that you have mentioned. And we have also come to understand them that they really need support in terms of finance. And therefore, we have partnered with, for example, the Mastercard Foundation, where we are supporting the micro to get at least some funds so that they can be able to trade. The other thing is to make sure that we connect them. We connect this sector, the SMEs, in trade missions through our economic diplomacy desk. We make sure that the trade seminars or trade fairs, that they'll be able to understand and unlock their potential. I want to look at, for example, the government
Yes.
has signed just the other day with the UK. This is the FTA, and which is very important. And
The
this
free
is
trade
something-
area.
Yeah, the free trade area. And
Yeah.
I think we as Kenyans really need to embrace this, because you saw that, for example, UK, after the Brexit, this now is about 200 billion US dollars market. And I think this is something that we need really to embrace. So we need to see and focus and see it with the national government and see what are the opportunities now available through this partnership, through these agreements. What are the things that we need to look at in terms of making sure that the tariffs, how do we work in partnership with, for example, KEBS, so that the same sector can be able to understand the standards that they should meet to be able to export their products. We need to work very closely with Kiproba, for example,
Yeah.
so that they can be able to open up and unlock opportunities for these people. So as we really unpacking all these programs to the SMEs, and we have seen many of them really embracing that.
All right. And Mr. Ngatia, you've been credited for setting up strong linkages with partners like Mastercard Foundation. And looking at where we are as a country, we have a very thriving SME sector that has been yearning for credit, cheap, affordable credit. And this has a big impact in terms of supporting businesses to be able to advance, to be able to expand. And are there perhaps talks between you and the national government and, of course, other actors in the value chains, especially in having a framework that will be able to do lending to small businesses, at the same time contemplating? I know one time you once said you might go the way that you might set up a bank, perhaps. I don't know, how viable is this?
Well, not setting a bank, but what we have done so far, we have set up a SACCO, a SACCO that will, support our members, where our members can come and save and probably get back that money on affordable rates. But having said that, and you've mentioned again the Mastercard Foundation, this is a discussion and negotiations that we had with the organization to make sure that Wanjiku can be able to access the finance and at no interest and no collateral that is being asked for. In fact, since we launched that program, we have so far as the chamber disbursed about 150 million Kenya shillings. They have been able to take out of that money, about 52% has been repaid. They are taking it for 2 months, and it is a revolving fund for 1 year. But still, the Mastercard Foundation coming up with new and other programs that they can be able to support. Over and above that, we are in partnership with Amref Italia, where we want to look at women groups, association of women, and how we can be able to support them, how we can be able to capacity build them, and also provide them with small grants that they can be able to sustain their businesses, looking at post-COVID and the recovery measures.
I'm keen to find out from you, in relation to this fund, the revolving fund, talk to us about how it is disbursed, because one of the big challenges is it's one thing to say this is what we want to give to the businesses. It's another thing for us to actually see the real value, and is it getting to the people it needs to get to? You do know that there are questions around equity, there are questions around ensuring transparency in all this.
Yes, the funds that I've spoken about, we have distributed the funds to now about 40 counties. We still have 7 counties that we want to reach out to. But within the 40 counties, the application is very, very simple. They don't need to come to our offices. We have an application. We are working also with a fund manager who now goes to do the vetting. And once that vetting is done, they get the they get on their phone an alert to say that they have either qualified or they've been disqualified, and they're given the reasons why they have not met the threshold.
Okay.
And those who have met, and many of them actually are meeting because it's a very simple and about 4 questions that they have to answer. And once that is done, the money is again forwarded to them through the same digital platform on their phones.
All right.
Yes.
And let's shift gears a bit and talk about areas that the government has been really advocating for under President Uhuru Kenyatta's administration. They've been putting forth the Big Four agenda, yes, which touches on manufacturing, issues to do with affordable healthcare, matters to do with universal healthcare, actually. When you sit back as a chamber, there have been questions around the execution of this Big Four agenda. Are we still on track? What do we need to do to achieve all these ambitious 4 pillars that are supposed to see the economy advance at a faster rate?
I think this is very important because if we are to actually actualize the Big Four, it means then, and it calls for that solid partnership between the private sector, the county, the Council of Governors, and also the national government.
Yeah.
But one thing we need to ask ourselves then, out of the 4, do we have maybe 2 sectors that we really want to look at, or 1 sector that we want to look at, or 1 agenda, or 2 or 3, or do we want to look at 4 at a whole? We have 2 years to meet the target, and therefore, to me, one of the areas that really we must focus is manufacturing. And we are happy that the government now has given the opportunity to the local manufacturers to unlock their potential. We have seen this sector, the Juakali sector, being given opportunities to build and innovate their own desks. Some are even innovating automobiles. I was in Laikipia the other day, and I saw they are actually innovated, and they've made tuk-tuks. And I think that is a sector that we need to support in terms of making sure there's manufacturing. Yeah. We have also seen, in terms of this stimulus initiative, we have seen the government also through the Ministry of Health providing the tailors, local tailors, to make reusable masks. And this is a project that again looks at the entire country. Who are the tailors who can be able to make this reusable mask? And this also helps them also to sustain their businesses. Looking at housing. That again is a very important area. Again, we want to see how do we support Ministry of Housing, for example, with the program that they have. We have seen many, and especially the youth, coming up with innovative products. We have seen them coming up with products like these carts, mkokoteni, they're making, and Ministry of Housing is really supporting them. We have seen University of Technical University, we have seen the University of Strathmore also coming up with those initiatives.
All right.
But also we want to support them to see how our local manufacturers can be able to be part of the programs of the affordable housing. Let them give them that opportunity, and once they're given the opportunity, then we can also be able, as the chamber, through the partnership with financial institutions, provide them with finances. Again, we're in partnership with the Equity Bank, and through Equity Bank, we can be able now to support the sector. Looking at that, and again, supporting the Big Four. The other day, last week, I was in Dubai, and in Dubai, we are looking at opportunities available. One of the things that I should mention to you is that finally, we have now been allocated by Sharjah an office, 5,000 square feet office. They've given us a boardroom and a place to work. And this is really to support those people who want to export and those who want to import from Sharjah. And one of the things that we have negotiated with Sharjah Chamber through Etihad Insurance is that our investors here, or the SMEs here, can be able to be allocated goods up to about between 90 to 150 days credit. So that means you can take those goods. They have already been guaranteed by Etihad Insurance, and then we make sure that you have paid back the resources within that time. So that one, from January 1st, anybody can be able to apply as long as you are a member. The other thing we discussed is on the Expo 2020.
Yeah.
This is very major. It was supposed to have happened this year, but because of this disruption, it was pushed forward. So this is where we are now encouraging our members, the private sector, to come and also learn, to come and unlock their potential there, to come and see how they can be able to partner through, B2Bs. Let them. We give them opportunity to engage with other counterparts across the world. We already have seen about 177 countries have already registered to be in that. It's going to go on for 6 months.
Yeah.
We as Kenya, again, we are very lucky because Dubai or UAE, they have accorded us space, a pavilion, and this pavilion is allocated to Kenya in a very prime location, actually at the entrance of that expo. And therefore, this is where we are going now to showcase our products, to showcase our talents, and anybody, even those within the creative industry, are welcome to come and partner with us. So we are in partnership with, again, Kiproba, we are in partnership with Brand Kenya, we are in partnership with the Ministry of Industry, and therefore this is a partnership that we really want to see that benefits the SMEs.
All right, quite a lot cut out for you and the chamber. And Mr. Ngati, as we wrap it up, of course 2021 is around the corner, and it seems like everyone is saying 2021 will be a better year. We do not know the second wave of the virus, how it will pan out. But so far, the numbers have been going down in Africa. The vaccine has been rolled out in the UK, in the US. And there seems to be a lot of excitement that 2021 will be a better year. As a chamber, what will define 2021 for you? What will be your priority areas as we also head into another political event, that is the referendum? And we do know that during such periods in our country, businesses start shutting down slowly. How do we balance and ensure we don't see politics overshadowing economic recovery?
Very good. Those are about 4 questions. But really what I want to say, and before I just come to the COVID-19 issue, I think we as a country, we need to embrace ourselves and prepare ourselves. Because we have seen the government in negotiations with the US FTA. I think this is one of the areas that we really need to prepare ourselves so that we can be able to trade with the USA. I want to look at the previous engagements we had, and especially on AGOA. You find that there were about 4,000 products available for us to market in the US market. But we only dealt with 160 products out of 4,000. What is it then we must do as they sign, and because the negotiations are still going on, as you sign with them, what is it we are going to do, and what products do we have so that we can market in this in this entire market? Now, coming to the issue of preparedness and what we must do in 2021, I think we must be very hopeful. With Corona or without Corona, I think we must move on. We have already found the new normal on how to live. Today, everyone is living with masks, sanitizing, washing hands, and I think that way you'll be able to continue. And I said I was in Dubai last week. The country has opened. Actually, 95% has opened, and they have engaged, and businesses have opened. And I think for us as Kenya, we still need to do the same. We still need to focus on moving forward. And as they prepare the vaccine, we don't know when it will get to Kenya. We don't know when then it will be approved.
They're saying 2023.
2023, that's a long time, but we still want to hold on to what we have and what we have gained through these challenges. We have seen opportunities also emerge through these challenges, so we hold on to them and we say we be very, very hopeful. But at the same time, we have seen the government initiatives. We as a private sector then must again partner with them. The government must realize that to achieve their 2020 vision,
Yeah.
to achieve the big four, they must seriously engage the private sector. The Council of Governors must work hand in hand with the private sector. And we as a chamber really are very grateful. Since the signing of an MOU with the Council of Governors, we have seen fruits. We have seen businesses opening up within the county levels, and the sector has been really supported, and they're really holding our hands. And therefore, we as a chamber are here to say that we are going to work with you. We are going to capacity build you. We are going to make sure that we do not only support the businesses, but also look at family businesses. We have seen family businesses shutting down because of certain areas that they may not understand. We want to see how they can be able to carry brands along, how they can be able to re-engineer their businesses, their family businesses, and also ask them not to fear in partnering with investors, partnering with a third party, so that also that person can come with new technology, the person can come with finances and add to the equity. So again, family businesses, and in Kenya we have many. We really want to support that, that sector.
Fantastic. I'm afraid you're out of time, Mr. Ngatia. We need to bring this interview to a close, and we always appreciate hosting you on the program.
Thank you very much. I want to wish our viewers happy holidays and happy and prosperous New Year. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That is Mr. Richard Ngatia, the President of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, shooting from the hip, saying it as he means it. And we do hope to see a lot of optimism coming into the economy, how things will pan out come the new year. Well, from me and the entire team, we say bye-bye for now. Remember, you can always engage with us on our social media handles appearing at the bottom end of the screen. My name is Abi Agina. See you next time. Keep safe and happy holidays.